We are getting close to a special time of the year when we celebrate the return of light in what is the darkest period in the Northern Hemisphere. One thing that we celebrate in Sweden in particular, but also in the other Scandinavian countries, Norway and Denmark, is what we call Lucia. Now, Lucia is a very interesting celebration that is unique to the land of where Blut, Yule, and pagan Viking traditions ruled, and still to this day, unbeknownst to most people, still have a lot of influence. The Lucia tradition has spread from the west of Sweden, the home of the Geats, or the Goths, the oldest inhabited area of Sweden, with passage graves and cists that predates the pyramids in Egypt with about 1,000 years. An ancient Neolithic culture that had moved up to these cold and dark areas during wintertime with the retreating ice sheet developed a special relationship to the sun disk, one tied to life and death, hence the winter solstice that marked the return of light, understandably held a special ritualistic and ceremonial place in our people's psyche. So on the 13th of December each year, a beauty, usually a blonde girl with a crown of lights, leads a procession of singing girls that ceremonially are bringing back the light. They come with gifts of golden, glowing saffron buns called lussebulle or lussekatt. We also serve gingerbread cookies and glögg, a mulled wine. Those are also classic treats around this time of year. But the sweet treats to the side, the ceremony is all about marking the return of the light to this dark period. The name Lucia comes from Saint Lucia, a protective saint from Sicily, Italy, that died in the year 300 or so. It has actually nothing to do with our old pagan traditions. Even her day was revered in August and not in December, and historically she has no connection to Sweden whatsoever. So why is this kind of celebration in Scandinavia alone and not in other countries? Well, when the Roman Catholic Church came in with brute force in Scandinavia to displace the old faith and traditional order, the saints, whose name means light, or Lucy from the Latin word lux, or Lucifer, was put in its place in an attempt to cover up the old ways. However, this most important celebration to the Old Norse people, despite the violence of the church, was impossible to remove. And despite transplanting a foreign saint on this holiday, on this tradition, the old customs remained. It was just the name of it that changed. The church saw these pagan celebrations as evil and Luciferian, hence the saint with this name, Lucia or Lucia, was given to the pagan people of the north to explain our evil customs. Now, Lucia's celebration is today, in our day and age, 11 days removed from Christmas Eve. But this used to be actually on the same day of celebration. So what happened is that the Julian calendar that Julius Caesar reformed in about 46 BC, that is our old way of counting the days of the year. And before we changed to the Gregorian calendar, everything was about 11 days offset if we compare it to today's calendar count. Now, in the year 1300 or so, Europe still had the Julian calendar, and the Lucia day occurred back then, on the same day as the winter solstice, that now with the Gregorian calendar is on December 21st. This is the shortest day of the year, hence the darkest. This is why this was considered a evil or dangerous, ominous night, the darkest point of the year. Will the light return? Will life itself return with these cold, long, dark winters? We can only wonder what kind of superstition must not have plagued the minds of our ancestors, and what they would not have been willing to do to see the survival of their folk and of themselves. This is one of the root traditions of Lucia, or Yule, which we today celebrate as Christmas. So in an effort to induce back the light into the world, light itself was celebrated with sacrifices and massive bonfires. These were lit during the Blut in dedication to the solar disk. Now, during the Blut in the ancient Norse world, it's been recorded by horrified Christian priests visiting from Germany and other countries that we every 9 years sacrificed 9 of each male animal. This is believed to have included men as well. Sacred trees in sacred groves were made holy through the gift of life from these animals, from these men, as they were hung like red blood-dripping ornaments in this primordial Yule tree or Christmas tree. You know, pine was not yet plentiful anywhere on the European continent when these visiting priests from Germany wrote about all of this. The pine had come from the Russian heartland, creeping down from the north of the Scandinavian peninsula, and perhaps it's understandable that this evergreen pine was seen as a kind of a magical tree. Green even during winter, this Yggdrasil. A sacrificial bull or cow used to be led around the village with lit horns, lights on its head before being led to slaughter. And today, of course, we ceremonially do the Christmas ham, the Yule ham, with the pig or the swine instead of the cow or the bull. Many of the old customs still remain, with most of us never thinking twice where they come from or why we do them. They are beautiful old customs that connects us with our ancestors. We realize that we are connected with them not only through our DNA, but through our beliefs, our traditions, and our rites. It's a way for us to invite them into our time, and the tradition itself becomes a conduit between our time and their time. However, our old ancient traditions of Yule, and especially Lucia, is being threatened by new incoming, incompatible and hostile cultures, not only of the Norse way, but of all Europeans and all European traditions. We are being told that we must step down, stop with things such as Christmas, because it's offensive and we have to give way and show tolerance to all these other people coming into our lands. Now, in Sweden, traditionally, the most beautiful girl used to be elected to become Lucia, to be a manifestation of the light. A white, fair-skinned, blonde or dark-haired girl with the diverse eye colors that we have used to be selected to represent the rebirth of light. But today, with the constipation of political correct culture, this has caused the Lucia celebrations in Gothenburg in particular to stop using photos of the girls, and now they say it's only the singing voice of the candidates that matter. They even say that old people and even guys are welcome to try out to become Lucia. Now, this is absurd. It's a war not only on beauty, but on our culture as well. Why would we not want to have a young, beautiful Scandinavian native girl as a representative of light to be seen and celebrated and revered during this dark period? Now, without the aspect that Lucia represents, Yule or Christmas is not a complete celebration. Half of the blute was about return of the light. It contains vital components that makes it much more clear why our ancestors thought this period, the winter solstice, was so important to them and should be to us. So learn more about this and study this beautiful tradition that Lucia is and bring it into your Christmas celebration. Your kids especially will love it. There are songs, there are treats, there are customs that are easy to pick up. Help to save this tradition and let's spread it to European people of the sun wherever they are.
Get your Red Eyes t-shirt today, made by Lanus Llama, sewn in the USA using 100% organic cotton fabric. Available for both men and women in many sizes. Support what we do and enjoy a soft organic t-shirt made without the harsh chemicals. Go to redice.tv/store.